let's already get into it. We got Fernando Mendoza, obviously going pick 1. This is probably the only one I'm going to get right. As a Raiders fan, myself, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for this dude to really go out there and just change the world. I mean, change the franchise, man. I mean, he's a culture setter for sure. He's a great leader, great Christian leader. And I just can't wait to see him on the field. I hope he gives us a lot to cheer about. Pick 2. We're already going to get into this one, man. This is the one pick that I'm going to be spending the most time on talking about. And we got Aaron Glenn on the hot seat. The team did shit last year. But the thing is, though, is that what I respect about him is he got out of what he could scavenge in the fire. Okay, and that was Sauce Gardner and I think Quentin Williams, the D tackle that they traded to the Cowboys. Yeah, you know, when you could get draft compensation for those two guys, especially with Sauce, getting those 2 first-rounders, you're on an upward trajectory. Arvell Reese and David Bailey, these are the only 2 options. Bailey has been showing up in more mock drafts recently. Dude is a bona fide pass rusher for Texas Tech. And then, of course, we have Arvell Reese. Very, very versatile, linebacker. I'll be honest. The way that I view Bailey as a prospect versus Reese, I just think Bailey's going to be a better football player. I would compare this situation a lot, even though it's kind of unfair to say because it isn't the same situation. John Morant and Zion Williamson in the 2019 NBA draft. People were all over Zion Williamson saying he was going to be generational and this and that. I could tell just by his size alone and his athleticism that he was going to have injury problems. He wasn't going to be as great as people thought he was. I had so much more upside on Ja and saying that he could be a superstar on a team. This situation is different because Bailey and Reese are very, very close in terms of what they could provide. Back then, Zion and Ja, they had kind of a space between them when it came to the media. They were really propping up Zion over Ja. Right now, it seems to be neck and neck, to be quite honest with you. Depending on who you talk to, though, there's a lot of suitors who are willing to take Bailey over Reese as a prospect. Not to say that Reese is going to be a bad football player or whatnot. I do think Reese can get a pretty good-sized contract in his second contract after he's 4 or 5 years with a team. He could be a good role player on the defense for sure. But in terms of living up to the hype that is the 2nd and 3rd overall pick, I don't think he's ever going to get really close. Just looking at this guy, I don't think his talents are going to translate in the NFL. The other side, though, with Bailey, man, he's got bend, he's got speed, he's got the bull rush. His technique on getting off the ball, he has an amazing first step. He has the best first step in the draft. He has intangibles when you look at his interviews in which you just can't coach. With all that being said, though, I'm going to have to go with Arvell Reese here, even though I kind of said all what I just said right now. I think Aaron Glenn's decisions already have been quite questionable. When you look at him in that Lions defense, him as a defensive coordinator, he had a guy like Aaron Hutchinson who's not that similar to Bain. They're 2 different pass rushers, if you really think about it. And so people thinking he has ties to Bailey in that sense, I don't see it. But I think overall, he's going to go with who he thinks is the better prospect. And that is going to be Arvell Reese. To be honest with you, and not to crap on the Jets, I just think this is a Jets move. We'll kind of speak on them a little bit more as we go on to pick 16. With pick 3, Arizona Cardinals, man, this team doesn't have an identity whatsoever. I mean, you look at it and who do you think? I still think about Kyle Murray, and he's on a different team right now. I think about the fleece that they had with DeAndre Hopkins in that trade years and years ago. I think of J.J. Watt. I think of Isaiah Simmons, the draft bust. Who do the Cardinals have that is supposed to excite you in that sense? And you know what? That's fine because, Mike LaFleur, the offensive coordinator from the Rams, so he's coming from the McVay tree. Offensive guy. It seems like you're on the up and up with that. A lot rides on this pick 3 and what he decides to do with it in this position. Are you going to take David Bailey? Are you going to take Sonny Styles? Are you going to take, and that should already tell you how I think about Sonny Styles in this position. Like if you plop, let's say Bailey goes 2nd, Reese goes here, or Bailey's already here, Bain's here. What are they realistically going to do for your team? Your team is dog shit. It's the reality of the situation. You have Jacoby Brissett, of all people, under center, which he did pretty solid, I think, last year, as far as what I was hearing. You need to build from the trenches. You need to build, because right now you're basically at ground zero, man. That's really where you're at. And this pick 3 right here is not gonna really benefits you. They're definitely trade down candidates, especially when you have a prospect like a Reese, like a Bailey, that's just sitting right here. A team like the Cowboys, like the Chiefs, they're gonna come at every opportunity to try to get up there and get their guy and win that Super Bowl in the next couple years. But for the Cardinals, that's just not the case at all. So we have the phone ringing right now. Michael LaFleur is gonna pick it up. Ring, 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 rang, rang, rang. Ring, 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 ring. Michael LaFleur, pick up the phone. All right. We have a trade incoming. It's for pick 3. And this is what I think is actually going to happen, all right? The team who's trading up to the 3rd overall pick of the NFL draft is... No, it's not the Cowboys. It's the Kansas City Chiefs. They're trading pick 9, but they're also trading pick 29 right here. Yeah. This is a big haul of a trade to trade your 2 first-rounders for this third. It says a couple of things, and people are like, whoa. What makes you think in your crazy mind that the Chiefs are trading? Right now, this is official, right? This is already official. We have Cardinals picking at 9, and we have them picking at 29. Chiefs are on the clock, pick 3. Andy Reid is the oldest coach in the NFL. Travis Kelce is 38. Oh, he's 36, actually. Spagnuolo is going to be out the door this upcoming year. I am so sure of it. He's a great defensive mind. And in many ways, you're never going to have, I would say in the Chiefs' mind, a better time to really give it all you got. You don't have pass rush at all. You have an aging Chris Jones as well, not to mention. You let go of 2 of your cornerbacks this last year. One of them you traded, the other you just let run free, both to the LA Rams, by the way. You let your safety go. Man, to be able to get the opportunity, all right, for a Texas Tech alumni, same as Patrick Mahomes, Texas Tech David Bailey. I think they're going to go balls to the walls here. They're going to take David Bailey here, pick 3, Kansas City Chiefs. They're in win now mode more than ever. They're stars, their head coach, everyone's aging. It's kind of like the Warriors in 21 or 20, when they were still fighting to go and get that final chip in which they believed they could. And they won in 22. I believe the Kansas City Chiefs are in a similar position here. I don't think this is a desperate move at all. If anything, I think it's extremely necessary. And yes, they do need a cornerback depth. They can address that in the 2nd round with the 40th pick. I feel really good about this, to be quite honest with you. And its likelihood of actually happening, I think it's pretty darn high, to be honest with you. Pick 4, we have Tennessee Titans. The consensus here, undisputed, is Jeremiah Love at pick 4 for them. He is arguably the best prospect in this draft. I thought about O-line for a sec with a crazy pick here for just a second, Vega Lawane, but that's too high for a guard to go. But I thought about trading down, to be honest with you. If David Bailey is here at pick 4, so Robert Saleh is going to have to really lock the heck in. Oh my gosh. I wouldn't even want to be put in that situation, to be honest with you. Put a great weapon back on that offense right next to Cam Ward. And to shore up that O-line, I think, in the 2nd round. Or you could go wide receiver. I mean, if Jace Basantes is there in the 2nd round for the Titans, they pick 35, if I'm not mistaken, in the 2nd round. They could go and get this guy up. They need interior help. Robert Saleh being a defensive player, his first year there. I'm gonna be honest with you. Are you really gonna pick a linebacker at 4? Robert Saleh isn't that kind of guy. He can make a linebacker out of the 6th round look pretty damn good. Ruben Bain. No, not at 4. Downs, he's a safety. Even though he's a darn good safety, he's probably the 2nd best guy in this draft. But to take him over just the offensive juggernaut like Love, no, it doesn't make any sense. Let's go with Love here. And who's willing to trade up for a running back, realistically, or a Ruben Bain at 4? You get Ruben Bain for a bit less over here on this range, Pick 5, New York Giants, man. Pick 5 and 10, man. This changes everything because just a few days ago, they didn't have this pick. So this changes the trajectory of, honestly, these top 10 picks. I'm going to go with a guy who I've seen mocked here a little bit. Francis Mauigoa, tackle out of Miami. Get your second year Jackson Dartmoor help, and then also second year Scadaboo coming off of that injury. You could plug Mauigoa on a right guard. That's probably their most iffy position in O-line. Everyone else is coming back from last year, but I think his name's Van Rodden or some crap. Right guard last year, he left them. And so to plug this newcomer in, who you're not sure about your current right guard, at least I don't think you are, you could get a generational type of tackle here at 5, and then when Illuminor's done, he's 31. He picked up, I think, a 2-year extension. You could plug in Mauigoa to right tackle when all that's said and done. So I think this is a great value pick for the Giants, and certainly we'll see what they pick at 10. We got the Cleveland Browns here at 6, man. In one scenario, I had them trading down just 3 picks from Kansas City, and it made a lot of sense. Kansas City going up at 6, but now that they've gone up to 3, it changes kind of things in my mind. I'm only thinking about a couple things here. Wide receiver and tackle, that's it. Carnell Tate is mocked here a lot. People just think he's a great fit here for Cleveland. I'm not one of those people. They had 4 O-linemen go into free agency last year. Free agency just a couple months ago. I think they lost 2 starting O-linemen to that free agency market. I think Wyatt Teller came back, and I think someone else also did. You can't go wrong with protecting your second-year quarterback in Shedeur Sanders. Dylan Gabriel also, that guy's still in the locker room, guys. Let's not forget. Spencer Fano, his versatility is awesome. You can play any 5 positions on the O-line. Plug and play him there. He's going to start. Analysts are saying that he's the best tackle in the draft. I don't know about that. I haven't seen enough tape to really make that assumption. Pick 7, we're going to make a splash play. All right, we're going to make a hard take kind of pick here, and people are going to lose their freaking minds. Carnell Tate is mocked here quite a few times. Who else? Ruben Bain is, especially, since he's here. Sonny Styles, we see that. Dan Quinn is on the hot seat. He needs to make a splash play because they need to go back to the playoffs. His first year there, they made it to the conference. They lost, didn't go to the Super Bowl. He knows that if he has another losing season like here, he's donezo. He doesn't need someone who's gonna is gonna have to develop. No, he needs somebody right now who's NFL ready, who's the most polished guy. And I look at that receiver room, all right, with Scary Terry. Who else do they really have? Nobody. I'm gonna go with a wide receiver here, and it's gonna be not who you expect. Makai Lemon, slot receiver out of USC. I think this guy's just a better prospect than Carnell Tate. You could argue Tyson has the most upside. He certainly does. But here, Lemon is a yak machine. He can go up and catch the ball, man, at a high level. Look at that. He doesn't play like he's 5'11". Also, I just think he's a better fit for Scary Terry. I know, he's getting older. He's 30, 31. Thing is here is, if you could get half of what St. Brown is in this guy, I think the Commanders would take that every step of the way. They're trying to win now, and this is a win now player, man. I think he'll be better than Tate. And again, even if I think he's better than Tate, I seriously do think they would pick him over Carnell Tate. I know that's a hot take. I know people are like, bro, what are you talking about? We're just going to have to see. Honestly, at draft night, we're just going to have to see who they pick, man, who they go with. Might not even go wide receiver. There's still some other needs that they need to address. At 8, all right, who do we got here? We could go with a couple of options, man. We got Bain for sure. Sonny Styles is still here on the board. Downs. Carnell Tate. There's so many options. Mansour Delane. These guys are in heaven right now with the options that they have and the needs that they need. I think about a coach like Kellen Moore and his quarterback, his second-year quarterback, Kyle Shao out of Louisville, coming out of last year's draft, who I thought had the most potential. Jackson Dart was first, Cam Ward was second, and third was Shao. When you see a spark like that and you think you've found your quarterback, you want to shore up that wide receiver room. Right now it's razor thin, especially after you trade Rashid Shaheed in the middle of the season last year to the Seahawks. So you know what? I'm going to go There's only two options here for me. Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State. I'm going to go on a limb here and say that Tyson and Lemon go before Carnell Tate. This guy's upside is just unmatched. I heard people are really impressed with his pro day. The injury concerns, of course, is what holds him back. But nonetheless, when you're a young head coach like that, offensive coach, Kellen Moore, I think you take chances like these. Man, I mean, you could lose your job over a pick like this not panning out. Like, seriously. Now we have the Cardinals at pick 9. All right, they now have 9 and 29. Some good prospects to choose from. You got Sonny Styles here, Bain, Caleb Downs. How are they feeling? I mean, I'm going to go with another unorthodox pick. I'm going to go with Monroe Freeling from Georgia. I know he's a left tackle. Paris Johnson's already a left tackle there at Arizona. But Freeling has a little bit of experience, especially in his freshman year, playing right tackle. And so I think he can make that transition, or at least I think they think he can make that transition into the NFL as a right tackle for right now. He's a great prospect, man. This is really where his range is at. It's not at 17 with the Lions. I see him mocked here so many times. It's almost like it's almost like a consensus, like with Jeremiah at 4. I just don't think Freeling's making it that far. This is really what the Cardinals need to bolster up that pass protect. If you're going to have Jacoby Brissett there under center, and you're possibly thinking about a Ty Simpson at pick 29, you gotta really think about this. As an offensive guy, I'm sure this is on LaFleur's mind if he, of course, trades down with whether it be Kansas or the Cowboys. Any other team that's willing to trade up to pick 3, I really don't see it happening. And so pick 10, all right, for the New York Giants. We're gonna go with the obvious one. You know, and they're living in heaven right now. They have the choice of choosing Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles. And who do I ultimately think Hardball, the defensive guy, who he's going to go with? This is kind of pick your poison type of thing, because Dallas is right here at 12, and whoever they don't pick here, Dallas is going to get them. And so who do the Giants think the better prospect is? I mean, right here, I'm going with Caleb Downs if I'm the Giants. I'm just going to be honest with you. If I had to choose between a linebacker, Sonny Styles, safety, Caleb Downs, I'm going with Downs every single day, even though the Giants have Javon Holland, free safety over there. They're paying him a good penny as a free safety. I think it's $45 million, 3 years. But ultimately, I'm going to go with Sonny Styles here at 10. You know, I'm not really high on Styles as many people are, with picking him at 3 in some cases, picking him at 5. This is probably the latest that he goes, if not to Dallas, which I'd be surprised, because do the Giants really want the Cowboys to have this perfect gold nugget of Styles, in which they were willing to trade for probably at pick 4 or 3, to now just suddenly fall in their lap at 12? I don't know about that. I don't know. That doesn't seem very likely. The draft itself already and how it's falling, it doesn't even seem that likely. But you know what? That's the NFL draft, guys. I'm trying to have fun here.